back again, another episode on 4 Stories Dublin, and it's a bit of a special one for us today. I think so for myself. I'm actually excited. I've been really excited for this for a while now.
We were kind of trying to keep it secret for a while as well.
Yeah, to be honest though, but we're actually really lucky today. We have a little guest with us, and that is Gerard Walsh. So we actually got very lucky that he came down to us. At the minute, Gerard is working with the two lads, Darren and Joe, on the Free Gaf.
Yeah.
So we'll kick into that a little bit more later on in the talk. But I think we'll give it a bit of a kickstart. How did everything start going for you? Give your description of how you got started and where the love of film and acting and stuff came into play with you.
I think it was when I was like I always wanted to do animation, so I was always drawn and always interested in that. And I studied. I went to Ballyfermot to do an animation course originally, I just didn't. It wasn't for me. I did 6 months of it, and I just kind of got bored of it. It was not even bored. It was just wasn't. I knew it wasn't for me because you have to do the same thing over and over again.
It's difficult enough. To
get a chap to walk from here to there takes a week. To draw all of that, and then so I was I'd rather just film. It's a quicker way to do it. It's just film the fella walking there. Get it in 5 seconds rather than
easy,
5 weeks. So it was kind of figured out that it was just storytelling that I was into rather than animation, and I still love drawing or whatever, but it's the storytelling element that I was interested in. So I was interested then to go over in Ballyfermot. They had a film course, so I applied for that after dropping out, and I think because I dropped out, they might have not wanted me back. They kind of wanted to see if I was actually interested. For real, they didn't accept me the first year. Now I might have the portfolio. You have to send in a lot of photos, bring in photos that you took, and I would have taken them on my phone, So I think that was more the reason why they didn't accept me. But I then had to wait another year to apply. I was working in Marks and Spencer's for a while, and they were all saying, "Oh, you'll get too used to the money and all this." And because of that, I was spite. I was like, "I'm leaving."
Most definitely, it does anger you.
Yeah, just hearing people saying that, it's not encouraging. You want to be able to have somebody that's go for it, give it a go, why not?
And do it,
But so then I ended up going back, and then again, silly enough, I took photos on my phone again. I thought they were class. I put loads of contrast filters,
little bits of Photoshop there.
It's just me being emo, taking selfies and everything. And then man said, I'll give you a chance. If you go away for a week, come back with new photos. We can have a look and see if you get if you fit the course.
Yeah.
So I went and I think I had a camera at that point. So I went and I used my lamp and I took photos and set it up so that it looked kind of cool. It was still kind of emo looking and dark, but it worked. Yeah, man, he enjoyed. I actually think there's a shot of me where I took they're all self portraits, so I think I had my top off in them and everything. I wouldn't do that now. I wouldn't be into that now, but it wasn't to curry their favour or anything. It was just that's what I thought was going to be
sure?
Cool. Yeah. But now when I look back at it, maybe. But he accepted me then, and I started a foundation course in it was photography and film, and then I really loved that. We got to make our first it was a news show, it was a fake news show, and you could put comedy elements in it as well. I think it was a bicycle thief that we in the college. So that was my. I don't know if that was the whole everybody had to do the same thing, but it was that, and then one of the news reporters in the middle of it. Your man's robbing the bike in the background. So but it was these big fuck off cameras, big huge, old, huge cameras.
Yeah, I did a part in one of the lads from Ballyfermot College. It was a janitor going around or whatever.
Yeah.
And I have to say, he done that course as well. And it was. Did you film in what was it, 25mm, or was it the 50? It was the old school, wasn't it? It was actually you filmed
on film,
on actual film, wasn't it?
So in the foundation course, it would have been the digital cameras that they had, and it was they got them from RTE when they were throwing them out or something like that. I don't know if that or they're huge, big huge things, and it was a pain. Not even a pain. It was just they had DSLRs at this point, so it's you could why not just get the anyway. It is what it is. But we did that anyway, and then after passing that year, I went on to do cinematography, and that's when we got to use film. So we got 10. We had 10 minutes in a reel, so that's all we had to use to make the film. So it was just 10 minutes. You shoot it. If you fuck up, then that's it. It wasn't you weren't editing it in camera. They would digitize it and you could edit
Give it a better
on
look.
computer.
And there was a huge amount of paperwork for that project as well, wasn't there?
Oh, I can't remember. Like I was useless, some crap with that kind of stuff. Like, I really am. Like to this day, I'm still really bad with like just any kind of business side of things or paperwork, any of that stuff.
Just give yourself a camera and you know what you're doing.
Yeah, I just want to make stuff. Like like if there's somebody that can help me with all that, like that's what the producers are gonna be there to help me with. Like But so then I did that. They specifically said at the start, this is your 10 minutes. That's all you have. If you wanted to like kind of have more film or whatever, you could buy it yourself, but it was expensive enough to buy. Like, and then they said you can't use any digital kind of like. Don't use any digital. It's all for film. Like, so I use digital for half of it, and like I did it in a way where so it's two people kind of one fella gets bit by a spider. He makes himself get bit by a spider on purpose because he wants to be like Spider-Man. Like.
Yeah,
It's a stupid idea, but the whole idea is then him testing out how to be a superhero.
Jumping on walls and stuff.
Yeah, and his friend has a video camera, so I use that as an excuse to get more like footage out of it. Like, you know, like, so it was digital mixed with film, and then I think that's online. That film, it's called Superhero 101. Like it's my cousin's in it, and it's just it's grand. But it's a little hint at comedy, like you know. And then the same thing happened next year. Then went into the second year, and then I mixed digital with film as well. Like I don't think they were happy with it, but I was.
Yeah, because they said it should be just film, wasn't it? It was like an art form.
Yeah, but digital is like obviously it's more prominent now.
That's why everyone's using it.
Yeah, like I'd love to shoot on film event like at some point, but it's at the moment like I wouldn't be able to do it myself. Like,
Yeah, it's too complicated.
it is even shooting on camera, like on a like an analog photography camera, like I still can't figure it out. Like, and it is basic enough, but I just I'm so used to digital now at this point that I wouldn't go back if I'm shooting my own stuff, you know, that kind of way. But
It's amazing
there's a big
the talent
budget
that came from that though, the Ballyfermot College.
Yeah, there's a lot of people. Like there's a lot of people that I know
Dempsey and
still.
all.
Like, yeah, exactly. Yeah, and Joe actually, Mc Gucken went there as well, and actually met me. Well, I didn't meet my wife there, but we went to the same college as well, like which was
that's cool.
interesting. Like we were chasing each other for a long time.
College of Tales.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's a great college. It is. I think more practically, it's like for practical stuff, it's great. Like just getting out, they just kind of give you the camera and say go out and do it. Like they give you a crash course and say figure it out. Like you know that kind of way.
Yeah.
But no, I love Ballyfermot is great. Like very supportive and they kind of give you a shout out. So.
It's a great area for filming as well, isn't it? Like the look of the area when you go out, there's a field, there's houses, there's different looks in the place that you can find.
Yeah, no, even inside the college,
Yeah.
like, you can have like a hospital set, or it looks kind of like there's parts of it that look like hospitals you can use as a school, or then the outside. Obviously, I think the community are very supportive as well. So we used to shoot in the pub a lot and.
Chasers, was
Chasers,
it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember much of Chasers, but I was there.
That's good. That's what you want. You don't want to remember anything. But yeah, no, it was so then after that, then a lot of people in the class would have went on to, not a lot, like a few of them would have went on to Dunleary, and then there's another course in Swansea, I think, where you can go and study to get a degree in film. Like, but I just wanted to get out and start making stuff, so. I opted not to do that and just started.
You went rogue and went off and just wanted to do your own thing.
Yeah, like toward the last year, I would have been kind of doing my own stuff and making music videos here and there just for free. And I think I did my first wedding as well. Like, just and then I saw like you can start making money from this. So I was like, I'll just start going out and working and stuff for people, stuff for free or really cheap. So then I started doing. I got in contact with, there was a DJ called Paul Carras, and he asked me if I wanted to do a video for him when he was doing a set, like, and he said you can use this as an audition for the PR company to kind of show them what you can do for videos. And then when I did that, then I started getting jobs for nightclub videography, and then I started doing that, and then weddings as well. But I think that's where I learned most of the kind of stuff that I know was doing. Like nightclub stuff. Yeah. Just because it's so mental, like you're surrounded by drunk people, anything can happen. Like.
And the lighting is real, like
the lighting.
It's so.
You can't say you stand there, you stand there.
Yeah, it's
you can't
just,
tell people to do.
You're going out, and it's kind of like you're trying to tell a story in this 2-minute video of the nightclub and how it's happening. Like you usually have like special guests coming in or whatever, so you learn a lot in kind of structuring like how you want to tell this story of everybody getting pissed in a nightclub, like, you know, like, and I did that, like, I don't know how many I did, like 50 or 60 of them, like, over a few years, and it was literally, like, so the first one I didn't finish until about 2 or 3 in the morning, and I was so excited to get it done, like that I went home and edited it straight away, like, and had it for them the next day. I don't know, I would have slept as well, but I was just bit into just kind
You're
of
eager to get it done.
Yeah, just really excited to see, like, because I was shooting on one of these, on like a Canon, like what you have here, and like they had like a 50mm, and it was just looked great, like the background was all blurred and it just looked real cinematic. So I was really excited to see what the footage looked like and see what I could do. And then I'd still work for that chap that hired me for the nightclub stuff to this day. Like I was out doing stuff for him last weekend.
Oh, well, that's good.
Not in nightclubs, I guess. It's more commercially type stuff for like drink brands and all that stuff. But
you've done a fair few adverts at this stage, haven't you?
Yeah, it's all online adverts. Like the goal is to do TV, like, you know, like kind of TV ads. But I don't know how. Like it's tough to kind of break.
Did you do the 2 ads that the 2 boys done? Like
no. Like
Darren done that about Teo.
The hunky dory one. Now I did his audition for that. Like so usually auditions is somebody on a white background and just talking to camera or whatever. But I was like, do you want to shoot the... They sent him over a script. I was like, let's just shoot the script and just send it over. Like, now I don't know if that's what helped him get the role, but he gave me a bottle of whiskey for it. Like,
he did all right out with that, yeah.
But now Joe's he's doing loads of ads now, like TV ads. So I didn't do any of them now, but I'd like eventually, hopefully it'll all work out and I can. That's good money. Like you make good money from those ads, and then you don't have to worry about the smaller kind of thing.
It's hard to get onto them though.
It is. It's very hard. It's more. I don't know if it's who you know, but like it is. Like
it's a real network, like.
Yeah, like I've done a lot, like, you know, like, and I kind of feel like I could just jump into it, but it's just hard to get into it. Like,
you'd rather know what you're up against and then jump into it instead of just diving in. And,
yeah. Like I've pitched for a few things, but unfortunately, like it just hasn't come to fruition yet. But well, we'll see what happens. Be nice, because it just takes having that kind of, like, you focus on one job every couple of months. You're sorted for a few months then.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? Like, so was it Ridley Scott's son used to do all that as well, the ads and all that. They'd work on actually making them cinematic, because that's what they wanted for the big companies.
You learn a lot doing them, like, as well. Like, it's just again, storytelling and kind of composition. You learn a lot from just doing smaller little. You have to condense everything into a minute or 30 seconds. It's interesting. It's fun, kind of figuring out what you need and what you don't need.
Funny thing about an ad is it can be remembered for years.
Yeah, like the Guinness ads or
the Guinness ad, the Go Walk and
Barry's Tea.
No, do you know what one I remember always? The Cadbury's ad.
With the bunny?
No, the one with the kids with their eyebrows.
Oh yeah.
that sits in the back of my mind rent free for the rest of my life.
One of my favourite ones is they did it up north. They used Cats in the Cradle.
Oh,
and remember that one?
Yeah,
that was it. Like that was it.
What was that for, though?
It was don't join the IRA or paramilitary.
Oh, is that what it was?
Report to the police. But the ad didn't really work because actually kind of made people go, that looks like a bit of crap. But it was very well filmed and the music was just perfect.
Yeah, I think that was probably a film director like that would have done that. Like I know that Paul Greengrass would have done a lot of stuff like that. He did like Green Zone and Born Identity and stuff. He would have been involved in a lot of the stuff up north, like the productions up north.
Yeah.
So maybe he did it.
Oh, it's just it's something from a kid, like it's from a kid, and you'd say it to your mates, "You remember that?"
Yeah.
And I love the songs ever since, like.
Yeah, and also it's always the horrible ads that kind of stick in your brain, like the driving, the road safety stuff, like
or the smoking.
Yeah, that's still on.
Do you smoke?
I used to.
Like
I'm
you see one of them, and it does. It kind of do you know? I quit smoking when. Do you know the Joker film that came out with Joaquin Phoenix?
Yeah.
I went and seen that film. I went into that film, and I'd stopped smoking. I'd already stopped smoking a good couple of weeks. Like. Yeah. So I was grand. The miss had a smoke before I went in. No, I'm alright. Right. So I walked in. Said that. Well, after straight away, I wanted to smoke.
Yeah. He's smoking in it as well.
Smoking like a chimney and stuff like that.
His chest must have been in bits because he would have stayed in character the whole way through.
He'd have lit one and then he'd light one straight away. Like, and as you're saying, like with ads as well, you watch someone and you're sitting there, you're like, what kind of what one? Like,
I think that as well for smoking was a style thing.
I smoked a lot. remember that show, Shame?
I've never watched it.
The
Like,
English
it's not
one or
like-
the American version? The
The
original?
English one, like it
Yeah.
wouldn't have even been like an attractive thing. Like it was just when they were just smoking constantly. Like I was like, alright, what happened?
You're kind of looking at it and you're like, I kind of want one myself.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now with that, like, get your opinion on the little something, right? With the whole filming in Ireland, yeah, it's difficult to get into it. Like, there's not like your opinion on. There's not much opportunity here, like compared to other countries like England and. Obviously, America is one of the big, obviously the biggest one. Canada as well. Norway.
It's more of an industry. Like there is an industry over here. It is just it's smaller. Like
it's hard to get into
break
here.
Into, yeah, I think it is just you just have to kind of do it yourself. Like if you can, like, so for me, I would have like with the first feature film I did, I would have done that for just. I was like, there's no way I'm getting funded for this. I'm just gonna do it myself and then use that as a way to get funded for the next thing.
Yeah,
that didn't happen. Like, but. I did the next two features.
What film was that? Was that South? Was it?
No, the first one was called A Day Like Today. That's on Facebook. Like you can, we didn't get a distributor for it, so I just put it up on Facebook a few years ago. But I just kind of, for me, it was just show what you can do and just do it yourself. Like.
Yeah.
But I'd love again. It would be great to get funding to make these films, but.
The Irish film board can be very hard.
Yeah, like if it doesn't happen, I'll just keep making my own stuff. Like, you know, it's so much easier now to do that because the cameras and everything else is really not cheap, but it's much more attainable and it's much more feasible to actually get lovely images, and there's loads of people out there that are willing to help as well. Like, so I can't see why. It's doable, like, you know. Like
it's the only way you're really able to do it is like, as yourself and the two lads started off, and the same with ourselves. It's like you kind of get it going through Facebook.
Yeah,
that's your real real centre point.
Instagram as well.
Between your Facebook, your Instagram, and your YouTube's like. So that's the only real way you can actually kind of, in my opinion, that's the only real way you can actually get out there in Ireland. Do you know what I mean? It's do that, and let's just hope that someone's looking at online and you might get an email or text message. Do you know what I mean? Like, and most of your stuff you've done all through Facebook, like. Yeah,
all the stuff. Pretty much. Yeah, all of the kind of viral videos or any of those types of things would have been Facebook or Instagram. Like, and then when I got in touch when me and Darren and Joe started doing stuff, it would have obviously Darren had like loads of followers anyway. Like so. That was a built-in audience for him. He was doing comedy stuff anyway, so I just said, "Do you want to make it look a little bit better?" And then when I did the first thing with, it was like an interview type thing with John Kavanagh and Darren.
The BJJ, the coach.
Oh
yeah. It was like he was teaching him some moves and all that stuff.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And then
that was your first one you done with them?
That was the first one I did with Darren, and then after that I was like, do you want to see, because I had done a pilot thing with Joe that I wrote and directed. Like, again, we made it for no money, and I was like, do you want to get Joe involved in a sketch? And then after the first one, we did 2 sketches that day.
And is that how the two of them clicked through you?
Yeah, well, they knew each other beforehand, but it wasn't like until that kind of
till you came along.
They have great chemistry together.
I'm Louis Walsh, like, you know, it's got the band together, like. But
you tell them that.
But no, it was that, and then once the first video kind of, we did 2 of them that day, and they just really gelled very well. Like the comedy matches.
It's like they're not afraid to offend each other for the comedy.
Yeah, no, that's
they go full throttle at each other, and they know nobody's gonna fall out about it.
Yeah, well, there's no yeah, it is. It's just once it's for the joke, it's fine. Like, there's never any kind of falling outs or any of that kind of bad tension, like, you know, kind of, which is great. And it's because they know what they're doing. Like, the both of them.
They're not sure, but they know exactly what they're at. Like,
yeah, the both of them have been doing it for as long as I've been doing what I'm doing, so they know exactly what's funny and when to
give it a break,
when to pull it back, like, you know. But it's never gotten to a point of where we've had arguments about anything.
You might have you might think different on something.
Yeah, creative differences maybe sometimes, but I think even for me, like, even when we're writing the stuff, like with the sketches for online, they're never written. Like, it's just there's an idea there. This is what we want to achieve, and then we just try to figure it out on the day. Like, so it's all improv. Like, even the Git stuff or any of that, it's literally the idea was he's in a costume as Git, and then it was
the whole clown kind of thing.
Yeah, like
that's hilarious.
That's brilliant. Actually, I really enjoyed it.
There was no dialogue written. It was just you gotta find them down there and then just figure it out like as they're talking. And it wasn't even like we get on the 4th or 5th take. It was the first take, and just ramble until we get.
We find it hard because we've actually got a few projects. Well, I wouldn't say it's a few. It's we kind of recently done a thing called an audition, like. So it was himself and another fella. We were auditioning actors, but there was no real sketch of it.
Yeah.
So anyone could have came in and done whatever. We didn't know what they were at, and they didn't know what we were at. So
you
they
just invited people to...
Just invited people.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Well, the first we actually done one phone, and it was a film festival.
We'd run a first take. We'd ran it in the Kino, and we kind of learnt our mistakes from it. That we liked the material, we liked the way the reactions were.
Yeah.
But the sound was an issue because where we were recording at the time had a radio station, and it blocked all the sound out from the other ones.
Yeah.
That kind of messed that up.
But with that, you only had a few hours to kind of get it all done. And
we
then
did, yeah.
I had it like
we did it in 2 takes at times. We do the first take, see if it worked, and then go for the second take.
Yeah.
Because
you the moment each take.
Yeah. And it was, but the thing was, what we didn't realise was, it's the actual reaction of the people. We thought like we were going to punk everybody.
Yeah.
But by the end, they were
doing
us.
it.
Oh, okay.
So,
Right.
So it felt.
So they knew.
We never knew what was going to happen,
yeah,
and it felt great. Like
all the see, we always found it hard, especially myself. We recently done one with him, and it was actually part 3. We the first 2 got a good couple of views and stuff, and people thought it was great. We said, you know what, we'll do it outside of the film festival. So we put up on the Film Network Ireland and stuff.
Yeah.
And we tried to say, look, anyone who wants to come up, we'll be up here, come and do it. So we got a good few people up. But himself said, oh, you're going to come up again. So we actually brought him back as his character from the first time he done it. So it went really well, and went down it. And himself here, we are talking about, I'm willing to do anything to be in your films and stuff. And he's like, right, I need you to go to Sheriff Street with a con saw and take the doors off in shot. Like, are you willing to do that? And if you were to look, we actually had the bloopers online as well. And if you actually watch me, any of the first takes we couldn't do it. For his whole take, I just couldn't stop laughing because beyond it'd be like
the giggles started.
Yeah.
I couldn't keep it. Like,
carried through the take
because they would say some mad stuff, but what's great with him with stuff like that, when he's doing improv, he's real on the ball. As to me, it's like, right, I have to give myself a minute or two when I'll think of something decent. But him straight away, he's on the ball. Like, get them to say a line, I don't give a fuck if you're from the Dublin City Council. Ask me, Bollocks, and you want to see me, I'll have to send them to you sometime to take it. But I love doing all these improv.
And were they coming in with it, like, is there a film in mind, or is it just auditioning for
we'd have them auditioning for a part, but what we'd say to people is, do you have an idea? Like, so we had one lad, he was a lad and he did modelling. So he was like, I don't really have any ideas. And we were like, well, imagine the worst person you've met on a shoot. Be that person. You know what I mean?
We had a fella come from the north. And myself and himself we said we'd buy a few little stupid props.
So in the pound shop.
So we got this fella a kid's bow and arrows. So we came in here rocking with bow and arrows.
Here, was it?
Yeah, we came rocking in here with bow and arrows and a top that said cast me. So why are you bringing your bow and arrows? I want to show you my art. Alright, what is it? You know, but we loved, like, and they've actually kind of been some of our biggest hitters. Do you know what I mean? We think the improv is the best way to go. Like. And what you're saying, you're doing improv, and you're saying is they're able to get it one take if you're lucky. Like. I can find it hard to kind of keep a straight face doing improv.
Yeah, I think they're just so, they've been doing it for so long that it's in their style. Like, I think they just have it nailed.
Who's more funny out of the two of them? Who's the funny?
I wouldn't know.
Go get them in trouble there.
I wouldn't know. Like, I think both of them would just be, and they're both kind of have their different kind of ways about them as well. Like, so Darren would have the real kind of the Irishness, like the Dublin, and so would Joe as well. Like, I don't know, it's a toss up. Like, I wouldn't be able to give you an answer on that.
Well, speaking of the two boys, then, right? Yeah, you're working on their Free Gaf.
Yeah.
And how's that working out?
Yeah, it's good. We all so Darren got asked by RTE if he had any ideas, because he was already in there doing like the Love Hate auditions. He did like a series when Love Hate was like 10 years, I think. It was like a 10-year anniversary. So they asked him to do his Love Hate auditions for the Player.
Yeah.
And they were like, if you have any other ideas, like we'd love to get. And this is around the time when me and Joe started doing it, so we all kind of came up with. It was initially a podcast kind of setup where the guest was going to come in. We were going to do have a chat. They were going to have a chat, and then in the middle of one of the guests' answers, it would lead into a sketch about what they were talking about, like, and then it just transformed into Free Gaf. So it was like the guests coming over to the house, and it was just playing out in there. So we pitched that, and they liked it, and I was kind of initially because of the stuff that would have happened, like you get your expectations up. This is a big thing. I was never excited about it because I was like, I'm not going to get a chance to actually be a part of it, like, even though I was doing the sketches or whatever. So I was on a meeting with them, and I was like, is it okay if can I direct this? Like, yeah, well, why wouldn't you? Do you want somebody else to? Like
they were assuming you were going to do it.
Yeah, so, but I was really like timid about it. I was like, probably not gonna, like, can I even come to the shoot? Like, you know, like, can I? But so then, no, it's fine. Then I ended up writing it and writing it with them, and then we directed it. Like, then I directed it. But it's great. Like, it's just hanging around with your mates and just and even with like getting the guests in, it's everybody's sound. Like, it's just
great crack. Like,
that always struck me because, like, in Dublin we have a twisted sense of humour. And like we've still that Irish humour, but we've modern things that came up into us. Like when I seen that gig thing, I don't know how many kids wet the bed because of it.
Yeah,
it was like a memory in people's heads, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then the later on stuff. And
because Darren had done that character on Instagram, and when we did the first, I think it was the first Bagsy sketch, we were talking.
They were class.
But yeah, so him and Joe were just talking about doing something with Git. And it wasn't until we did a sketch about Bosco. It was like Bosco when he was
in the pub, like,
down and out, like, and people are recognising him. And then that actually turned into a Joker thing at the end, like the Joker.
Yeah, it got real dark.
What the fuck? But then we were like, fuck it, we'll give Git a go and see what we can do. So we just did the makeup. We bought like a bald cap thing, like a clown hat from Party City in Liffey, and then just bought some shitty like face paint, and we did the face paint.
I thought it was brilliant the way he carried it on, like.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? The way he held himself in the role was.
Yeah, it's just normal. Like, it's just like just gitsy from the flats, like, you know, like, and that's what it was. I think everything that we tried to do is making the bigger as small as possible. So like making this big situation as mundane as possible. So when even with in season 2, it's bumping into someone that you know in a supermarket, and then it turns into like this kind of horror-y type thing. We do like the horror type stuff. We did an Exorcist one last year as well, and then Git 2.
If you ever look at Family Guy and all that, they're constantly going back over a movie, doing a spin on it. You know what I mean?
I love doing the parodies just because it's as cinematic as you can get. Like just I love trying to match the shots exactly. And then it's hard then because the improv doesn't really you can't get it exactly the way you want, but matching the style and tone is I just love trying, like, it's a challenge, but I love trying to get it. Like,
it's kind of a subversion, isn't it? Because people are like, I know what's happening, and you're changing it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what it is, and it is just making it as mundane as possible, like, and just trying to get the Irish kind of Howie or whatever, just mixing it in with that. But that's what for me, even with the show, with the sketches, like, it's usually the lads that come up with the ideas for the sketches, and I would write around it or fill in the blanks if for each episode. We'll all do that together. So when I'm writing it, it's just I'll have me ideas to pitch, but they're never as good as what they have for an actual sketch. But I think next season, if we get it, I have a few in the notes.
You
don't know. You never know. Like, we haven't.
It has been a success, though, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been very successful on the Player. It's really successful. Like, it was.
Like, you actually managed to get onto the TV now.
Yeah, it's on the TV now. Yeah, but so the fourth season was the most viewed original that they had, and then the second season was the same. So, and that's all in 1 year. So it was 2 seasons in 1 year that have been.
And in fairness to you, because RT had got a number of people to come in and do comedy shows, and they just weren't clicking with the audience.
Yeah.
That did click with the audience.
Yeah, there's something. I think it's more just because it's so bizarre. Like it really doesn't need a storyline. It just that's what the way it worked for us.
It's stupidly funny sometimes.
Yeah, well, that's what it is.
Laugh at it. It's brilliant.
But that's even like when we're shooting. I sometimes would stop and be like, we all need to realise that we're doing this on a Tuesday morning. Like, this isn't a job. Like, you know, that kind of way. Just appreciate what we're doing. Like, you know, that kind of way. But it's nice, and just being involved with RTE is great because obviously growing up, like we would have watched like our kind of. The stuff that we would have loved would have been like the Savage Eye or Naked Camera and stuff. And just being in any way like kind of
and
associated with them, like exactly,
Joe Duffy.
Yeah,
the
and
Joe Duffy's
just being
brilliant.
associated with that, like for the three of us, is a big deal. Like, and we have like they're chatting with like Dave McSavage, and McSavage sent me a message saying he wants to work with me and all this stuff. It's cool. Like just growing up, watching those people and being in that kind of.
How did your family take this? Because did they go, it's on RTE? Was it it's real now?
I don't know, because I had a film on RTE a few years ago, but it wasn't shown until like 1 o'clock in the morning, and it was just kind of it's a weird slot. Like, and you get texts like at 4 o'clock in the morning saying, "Oh, just watch that film." Like, all right, great. I didn't even know it was on. Like,
I appreciate that.
Yeah, but actually, it was funny. I was only talking to my ma yesterday about the show, and she was just like, I don't think they're funny. She's like, I don't even like some of the sketches I laugh at, but I don't really think they're funny. And I was like, fair enough. Like, that's
appreciate that.
Yeah. You should bring her on set to tell them that.
Yeah, but that's what, like all right, fair enough. That's great. But
stick her in an episode.
Just lie to me, you know, like, now my sisters, my sister and my niece and all have been cameos, and like they're in the background and stuff, which is good. And my brother's in the first episode. He gets a line, and he's the fireman in the first episode of season 2. But he was very nervous. Like it was literally just, that's out now. Be careful. And then he walks off. But he was like proper nerve. Like it was nerve wracking for him. Like But it's just funny to get him in because why not?
it is great. It is.
Yeah.
And did you find it nervous?
And it's something people remember for the rest of their lives, or people that catch you up. Like I remember those people. They appeared in Braveheart in a 10-second shot, and for years people say, "Oh, it's Braveheart."
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm the same with Vikings though. When we were on Vikings, I still think about it. So I loved it. Like,
yeah, it's a really cool experience being.
It was the best time of my life. Like,
yeah.
One of the best nights I had was I had to just lie down on it was a campsite. I think it was at 7 o'clock at night or something. So it was pitch dark. They had like little fire camps going, and it was after a battle or something. I was just like, they were like, "Alright, you can just lie there." It's like, you sure I don't have to do one? Or I'm like, no, you're gonna be in the background. Well, I don't need you to look at car. I just need you to play there. So I ended up falling asleep there. And it was great. I had the fire and all beside me, but I still think of that little feeling, you know. Like, and it's weird. Anytime I smell a fire, which is weird, I think of that.
Halloween is just all Vikings, right?
Oh, I love it. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. I was nervous as well. Even my first day when I went down there, they were like, "You're all gonna." I was like a little soldier. We were all going in through a gate, but the cameras were coming down on us. I'll never forget, I was so nervous. I was like, right, everyone, we're all right, let's do this. We got this, look, we'll do this. My first time being on camera, I was real nervous, so I was trying to keep myself, right, let's go. And then, right, they're doing it again, doing that. And then I think it was after like the 7th or 8th take, I'm like, right, I'm getting bored of this now. I just want to stop, like.
That's pretty much it, like, it's just waiting around and then get your shot and then wait around some more. Like. I try to keep the pace as quick as I can, just because we have such a, especially with the show, because we have such a short amount of time to actually do it, you have to fit in like
how does that work?
Three sketches, like 2 sketches a day.
So how does that work? Like, are you given a time period that you have to start and finish it, and then edit it, or does it work?
So with the 4th season, we did it in, I think it was 12 or 14 days, 4 episodes, and then we got, I think it was 25 this season, maybe less, 21. And it is literally just squashing as much as we can into each day. And even like just prep, it's difficult to prep that because you don't know what you're doing. Like sometimes you don't know what you're doing the next day, like because locations need to be confirmed or so it's a pain in the arse for the lads because they don't know what script they're doing. Like they don't know what
they're doing or even where it is.
Sometimes, it's not all the time. It's just scheduling, even like getting guests in and stuff, trying to figure out what days we can get them. It's all kind of last minute. It's not always like that, but sometimes it just happens to be like that. So you're just kind of, you rock up on set and you're like, right, what are we doing today? How are we going to film it? And you just kind of figure it out. But I love that because it is really just. You just have to get it done.
You love the stress of it though, don't you? You love the little thrill of it, like.
Yeah, well, I'd love to. The next one, I'd love a bit more time, like just to be able to get the prep and just chat with cinematographer a bit more and actually plan out some shots. But sometimes sometimes the sketches the way you don't need much planning. It's just go handheld and just let the lads
do their
thing. Exactly. Yeah.
I can ask you, is there ever a time that like you do a take and you go, that's brilliant, but we can't put that on television?
No, not really. Well, no, because with RTE the scripts have to be approved, like,
Right.
So you'd kind of go in knowing exactly what you're getting.
Yeah.
But the lads do improv, and there are things that would be improv in the show that kind of slip past, or they're not. They wouldn't get you in trouble, like, you know, that kind of. So they would, even the what was it, in the fourth season when they go into the couch, there's a bit where Darren, again, wasn't in the script, Darren just farts at the end of it, and I was like, alright, do it again, and in the edit, when you fart, I'll make you fly away. So that's how that episode ends, but like it was never in the script, and it was just like, he just said, oh, I feel a little sick, and then he farted and then flew off.
And you were like, you know what, I'm just gonna make a hole. Yeah, going to stop for you, like.
Yeah,
so brilliant though.
So it's stuff like it was just a green screen thing, and it was the last day that we're shooting, so everybody was a bit kind of fed up at that point, and they were just like, just wanted to finish up, like, you know. And I was like, right, that's how we're finishing the episode. So yeah, just floating in midair and then you fart off. Like. But and I love that. I still love that. I laugh as much now as I did when we are filming it. Just because farts are funny, like, nobody can deny it.
Yeah, I always love when you're in a room and if your room's packed out and someone does it, and then there's the eyes looking around, and then the persons that doing it is the one blaming people.
I always do that though, to be fair, like I'm looking around at someone else.
That's you.
Or if I'm at home and I do now, I'm playing the kids, it's only them kids use the toilet, did they? Jesus Christ. And I pass it sometimes in squad. But when you were starting with the RTE, like, were you nervous doing it?
Not really. I wasn't, because I'd be confident enough in that we can get it done. Like, you know, like, it's because we are doing it, because we would have done it, so many sketches together. Like we work together really well. We know exactly what we want, and
you've done a lot of short sketches.
Yeah, I think we had done like 20 or 30 by the time we did and that was from the get go. We hadn't done anything together, and then we were just fucking knocking it out.
Like, through them as much as you could, like.
Yeah, and it was just, and we knew when not to release stuff as well. Like where it was like, well, it's fine. Like, it wasn't as good as what we'd like. So I knew working with them would be handy, and the budget wasn't massive. Like, it wasn't like a giant budget. Like, it was enough, and it was enough for us to be like, that's loads of money.
That's great. Like.
And when you say to somebody else in the industry, like, that's fucking nothing. Like,
that's nothing. That wouldn't even help me. Like.
Yeah, but like we were delighted with it, and we are. I think we are all like, what we like, how
what we do with this?
Yeah, like,
I'd say that could be this sketch. Like, the next sketch could be what we got to spend the money on.
Well, it wasn't even that. It's like, how are we going to get rid of it? Like, how are we going to spend all this money? Like, and then
because we're so used to doing
chicken rolls that you have.
Yeah, and then we found out like that it just disappears like that. Like, even just like with hiring people and it just disappears so quick, and then you're like, all right, we need money now. Like, you know, like, all right. Yeah. But even working on those constraints was interesting for me, because it was like the expectations for it probably wouldn't have been as high as what I would have been wanting to achieve, like, you know, like, right. So I went in thinking I'm gonna put more money onto it than what they gave us, like. So I think the fourth season was fine. It was good for what we got, and I just don't think we are as ambitious with like some of the stuff that we did in the fourth season for the budget. Yeah. But the second season we were just like, fuck it, we're just gonna go all out and just try to make it look like a film. Like.
Yeah. And did you get a bigger budget for the second season?
It was a bigger budget, yeah, but we had more episodes, so it was they couldn't have really given us the same budget, and there was more days as well. But even at that, we put a lot into just lighting and making it look as
good as
TV worthy.
Yeah.
Like. To make it look as TV worthy as possible and that's what I tried to do with everything as well. Like, just try to make it look as nice and well produced as possible. Like, because I think if you do that, people aren't gonna question the content. Like, you know, they're not gonna be like, oh, that look, the shot is a bit amateur looking, or you know, that kind of way.
I get what you're saying, because there's times you're watching something and just something appears in the scene that takes you out of the scene.
Yeah.
And you were like, why did you do that? Because it was all in.
Yeah.
You know that way?
Yeah. Well, that's why I just wanted to. It's more, you want to impress as well. You want to
Yeah.
impress the people that are giving you the budget, like, and hopefully we can impress them enough to get more money, or to get more, like, to get it straight to TV the next time, or just and again for other jobs, not just for this show, like, just to do like the next film, and making sure that you have a nice calling card for the next thing. Like,
Well, it's always
on
going
RTE.
to stand to you though, isn't
Yeah.
it, that it was on RTE. And the gas thing about the RTE Player is, it actually is viewed all over the world.
Yeah, yeah.
So there's people that aren't Irish, aren't from Dublin, that are watching that now.
Yeah, we haven't actually seen the proper analytics to see where it's been viewed yet, but be interested to see, because a lot of Australians and stuff will be still watching, and stuff
Australians
like
will watch it?
Not Australians, so expats in
They'd
Australia.
be going with an Aussie or whatever, or
Yeah.
they'd be in a house, and they'd be sharing a house, and
Yeah.
go, what's
Yeah.
this? Because the Aussie humour and the Irish humour are very similar, because
Like
we were the
Scottish as well.
convicts sent over. there.
Yeah,
You know what I
exactly.
mean?
But no, it just would have been like people
We were the ones that
living.
got away.
Yeah, like people living in Canada or Australia
Yeah.
would be missing home, like, and
Yeah.
especially if they're from Dublin and you're missing home. That's exactly
That's what you'd watch,
wanna
like, the real lot
Like-
of Dublin are kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
inside, like, yeah.
Well, I know with my auntie, like, she's years in Liverpool and had her kids there and all. But her big thing is Mrs. Brown's Boys. Because
That was
really big in England as
yeah,
well.
reminds of her of when she grew up in Finglas.
Yeah.
In the old Finglas house we had the galley doors.
Yeah.
The same, like, and she sees it in a very positive light, and I think that's the thing they were saying. It's the thing about an Irish production. People, they might have a different accent to us, but they have Irish family, and it brings back a memory, I think.
Yeah, no, it is
Or
a
a
nice-
head case they met in the pub.
Yeah,
or something, you
because
know.
any Irish film that you watch, you're kind of looking out to see, where they shooting around by me, or I know that place. Like, because I think if you do shoot somewhere that's recognisable, people are more inclined to watch it as well. Like,
Yeah.
so if they see, my house is around the corner, like, you know,
Yeah.
I doubt it's like that in America, because there's so many productions and there's so many things happening, like, and they probably use the same locations over and over again.
Yes, they do.
But over
yeah,
here,
yeah.
if you're shooting Finglas, everybody in Finglas is going to watch that video, like, because they're like, I might see my ma walking in the background. Like, you know.
I remember I was watching Love Hate, and there was a car chase scene, right?
My car's in Lovey in the background.
Oh, man.
I took a picture and shared it on Facebook. That's exactly the thing that I'm talking about, where if you see something that's recognisable, especially if your car's in it, it's like, I'm on the telly.
I remember watching the car chase, and I was still involved. I wasn't that involved. I was involved, but I wasn't,
'Cause of the
because I was
geography,
like,
is it?
hang on. Now they're in Fisborough. Now they're somewhere else where they made it look cool that they went up the street. But I was like, how did you jump from here to Fisborough?
I got a bit of stick because I did the Sopranos. Like, I did the intro to the Sopranos with John Connors.
Oh, I seen that. That was great.
And
yeah.
I got a load of stick because it wasn't the right route to get from the toll to Sandymount, I think it was. And everybody's like, that's not the way you go. I was like, so fucking what? Like, who cares? Like, I'm trying to match the shots. Like, I'm not going to be able to match them exactly if I just go in the same, in the route. Like,
He's a great talent, John Connors. Isn't he?
yeah, John the legend. Good friend of mine.
What's that film he done?
Cardboard Gangsters.
That was brilliant.
Yeah, he has a new one coming out as well. I think it's getting it's winning loads of awards and stuff.
Is it,
It's his first directorial feature. Like,
He wins a lot more awards abroad than he does in this country because of his opinions.
yeah, probably. Yeah, he's still loved here, I think.
Yeah.
It's
The
obviously
people,
there's just
like-
arseholes that kind of like to pick him apart, like, you know, that kind of way. But he's a kind soul. I love John.
Yeah.
He's a legend.
Yeah, yeah.
He's lovely chap. Had him up for dinner and my ma's one evening because we were working on something, and my ma and dad just like were fascinated by his stories. Like, he was telling a story about his nanny that was nearly brought back from the brink of life after drinking 6 cans of Guinness. If you ever have him on, I keep hounding him anytime if he's on like
love to have
Instagram
him on,
live or
actually.
something like that. I just say tell the story about your nanny, because it's just everybody. I think he's probably told it on every podcast. Like. But if you ever have him on, ask him about that. It's so good. He's a good storyteller.
And he brought a lot of people in with him, like his I think it's his cousin James Patrick. and stuff. He brought a lot of people in with him. Like he does try help the people around him.
Yeah, no, he's great. He is very supportive and he does a lot of stuff with youth groups and stuff and helps them make films as well.
Yeah, he was actually up there. A friend of mine is a youth worker in the Puppetry Youth Project.
Yeah,
and he came down and I was talking to his young fella, and he kind of helped them direct a little film for the kids, and I thought that was great because when I was a kid, there was like, them people on the telly, you'll never be there. You have to look this way. No, okay, their film might not win an Academy Award, but it spurred them on.
Yeah, no, that's all.
And
that's
it was
all
a great little achievement for them, and they're saying, John Connors helped us make a film there. And he seemed to have a great time off. And actually the story, they said actually, I went, that's a good little story, you know what I mean?
I think
you never know what comes out of the mind of kids.
I think I edited one of the films I did with a youth group, but I think that you're right there in thinking, like, for me as well, when I was younger, I did like there was like I don't know if it was a course, but it was when I was like 12 or 13. It was like a weekend thing in Trinity. So they were making a film in Trinity. And I think that's what kind of sparked it off for me, like to be interested in cameras and all this stuff. But it is important to reach people at that younger age to be like, it is possible to actually do this as a job. Like, because I wouldn't have thought it was a job. I always thought it was like fucking pointing a camera and messing about, like, you know, that kind of way. Yeah. But it is really important to get them at a young age to show that it is possible to actually do this as a job and make money from it and like sustain yourself.
Especially with the internet nowadays.
Yeah, but more so in the areas that I grew up in, like the
you didn't hear them accents.
Yeah, like like a working class area, like it is hard to see that you can do it if you don't see somebody that comes from your area or whatever. Like, so I used to do like youth groups and stuff, and like do film clubs for kids around the area. But it's there needs to be funding. There needs to be like get the equipment in so they can just mess around with it and show them that it's possible to do it. You know?
Not to take away from anybody, but I felt over the years in Ireland, it was always people of certain classes. Right, and they were coming through, they had the money to do this. Like I remember doing acting lessons and I had to work like New Year's Eve on a door to get the money for it.
Yeah.
Like these people didn't have to struggle to get, you know what I mean? And the thing I found was when you used to watch films years ago, Irish films, you'd be sitting there and like they'd have it meant to be in the flats and you'd have a character and it's very clear they come from a D4 Bridge area. It just ruined the film. You were like, stop. And like I think it's great when you hear genuine voices of people. Now I know there is people that put on accents and that's great, but I felt that sometimes the people putting on the accents had never even been in these areas.
Yeah.
You know, I mean they read about people in the Sunday World and they see them on the news.
Yeah, and that's what exposure is. That's what the exposure would be all about. Like showing people, even for on the acting side, is you can actually do it and you can not replace these people, but you could get that part where you're playing your real life in a way. Like
even Barry Keoghan.
Yeah, Barry's a great example.
That was Love Hate. He did a great role in there.
Yeah,
he was very convincing.
I think
now he's on Hollywood.
He got
films.
that through John Connors as well. Like well, not through him. I don't know exactly, but he was cast in Mark O'Connor's King of the Travellers first.
Oh yes, I remember that film. Yeah.
Most of the cast from Love Hate, some of them are all gone to do savage movies. Like you have
Nidge was in the Avengers.
Stuff. Yeah, like Barry Keoghan. He's in the Eternals.
Nidge
was in the Avengers.
He's in the Avengers, but then he was also in, and they moved to another production. The Peaky Blinders. The Peaky Blinders gave so many Irish actors a chance.
Yeah.
So many. It was unbelievable. Yeah. Really did. Even your man Peter Keoghan.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
I just watched Bad Sisters with him in it. Have you seen that yet?
I haven't seen that yet. No, I'm hearing good things about it.
It's fucking brilliant. Like, it really is. The cast is unbelievable. Like it's mostly a female cast, but there's it's fucking brilliant. Like there's a character in it that they're all kind of out to get, and he's just a prick. Like the first episode is the prick. Like, and it sets the tone for the whole show. Yeah, it's brilliant.
Yeah, like I remember that's the film they did, Deadly Cuts.
Yeah.
I had a great time, and actually that was filmed in Loughlinstown.
Oh really?
And for years people have been telling you, like, we're going to be saying that's the pub. And I used to say to me missus, I'd say, you see that chipper there? World famous now.
I think they're in talks to do a show. I don't know now. I think they might be in talks to do a show of that.
it would be good. I
Yeah.
thought some of the characters were great in it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it was good. It's good laugh. Like I know there's a few people in it. Actually, Erica is in Free Gaf. That's in Timecodes. She's brilliant.
Was that the girl with the glasses? Was it? Innit?
No, it's the main character, the blonde.
The one who does the sketches with them and stuff.
Yeah.
No, that was Jen. I think Jen Hatton. That's in the sketches, but she's the shark in the lone shark in season 2.
Yeah.
She's very good, and she's sound as well. Everybody that's worked on the show,
They're all great crack, like.
they're just sound like it's great. You just want to do that every day. Like.
I think some of the sketches are funnier though. They like, not the sketches you do for Facebook.
The online, yeah.
I think some of them are so much more funnier than even some of the episodes. Like.
Yeah, I think it's well. I don't know if it's probably just because we have more free, like more.
Oh, I'm not
more freedom.
criticising,
No,
no.
Jesus, no. I think it might be because we can kind of be a bit more edgy, I suppose. We're edgy enough on the show, but even like we don't course on Free Gaf, and that's not. It was never like, oh, we can't, like, you can't tell us not to course, because there's coursing and other stuff. It's just the production company that we were working with is like, you want to make
You're
it
limited
accessible.
on what you can do, like.
Well, it's just more like you want to make it accessible, and if you don't need to, then what's the point? Like, if you're not, if it's sometimes like coursing can be a crutch where you just fill in gaps with like fuck or whatever the fuck.
And it
you know,
loses its.
like what I just did there.
Yeah, but it loses it. It loses its focus when you don't use it. When you use it, overuse it, because then when you actually want to use it for effect, it's just
you want it to have an impact whenever you use it. But also, it is a real Irish thing to just throw in fuck or the other. I don't know if you can say cunt anymore.
I don't even know.
yeah, well, like, I mean, like, yeah, but that is a word people use.
It is. It's just a gap. It's a sentence filler. Like.
I think the fantastic thing about that word is women will use it, but they don't like the particular word, so they'd say, she's a see you next Tuesday.
Yeah, but even
father dead, where you going around?
But even here, like, it wouldn't be used. Like in America, it's
a massively offensive word.
Yeah, but that's because they use it for.
Yes.
To describe something, and that's not what we use it for at all over here. Like, you wouldn't describe that as using that word, like, you know what I mean? But it's more.
We don't realise I keep getting corrected on how much I course, and like. She said to me, there's children around. What did I say wrong?
I'm the same as I think I course in every sense I do. I don't know.
Do you know what my Danny said? You've the language of a docker. So I think that is an Irish thing, but I do agree with you. Don't get lazy with it.
Yeah, well, especially if you're writing it, like you'd put it in if you're improv, maybe you might throw it out, but if it's on the script, then you just don't say it, like, you know.
And then there's the old father Ted. It's funnier when you make it sound like the course, but it's not the course.
Yeah, flipping.
Who came up with this sketch? I still can't get it out of my head, right? I don't know if you watched it. He's done a sketch, you, Darren Joe, and he's had another fella in it.
Frankie, was it?
I don't know who he is. He was at the Dublin Comic Con as well when I was there. We were filming at the Dublin Comic Con, so was he as well. He's in the forest.
Yeah, that's Frankie.
Joe was a DJ.
I was there with him this year at Comic Con shooting.
Were you the film? Were you holding the camera?
Yeah.
So we were literally in close distance. I'll never forget it because Wayne actually wanted to go down and try and get onto his shot. I was like, you don't need to go down. Oh well, I'm gonna record him. So he just recorded him. He was recording your thing. He was recording him, and he's like, "Oh, I have someone famous on my camera now. Get over it." Like, actually,
now Frankie's a legend.
Who came up with that one?
I couldn't.
That was one of the most confusing ones I watched.
Yeah, that was. Well, I love it as well. I love it, but it is like divisive. Like I don't know who likes it. Like, but we love it. You know.
I thought it was real. Yeah. Did you ever watch it?
It was.
I didn't get to see that one though.
I don't know what I don't know who came up with it. I know that it was the idea was that Darren was looking for
his dog,
and then
the next thing you know they just start having a rave.
Yeah, and I honestly think we just came up with it. Yeah, I think
I've heard that people go to the country camp and they say we can't. We'll have a few cans. We'll have a fire. Then especially around Glenmalure, they had to stop the camp.
Yeah.
Then there'd be a rave down the road. They'd be coming out trying to sell pills to random tents. They're like, we came out here for a few cans. Like, what's going on? That happens.
Yeah. No, it was. I think we were just coming up with it on the spot. Like it was, because Frankie's stuff is real kind of. He does like the meditation, what's it called again? Mindless. Meditations for the meditations for the.
Oh my god, I love that channel.
But he was like, what we knew that his style was kind of I don't know, ethereal or whatever it is, but we just kind of let him riff and then see where it went, and then it just turned into this fever dream of a sketch.
You worked on that?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's amazing!
I did what did I do with him recently? He was like doing like a love letter, the poem to Ireland, to Dublin. I don't know if you saw that one. It was would have been last year, but Frankie's in the show.
It's so hard to find out what's going on because so many people are putting out content, and there's a lot of people putting out content that's sometimes a bit samey, but then there's random times you just see this video and you go, they're good.
Yeah.
And you just know they're good. Like there's just something brilliant about it.
Yeah, it just instantly clicks. Like you just want to see more of it. Like.
Do you know the video he done of it? They done in Tally. Your man Frank. He's done one.
Was this outside the shopping centre or something?
Yeah, he was outside the shopping centre. Oh, this is Tally. There was a part of that. No one ever left me alone over that. All my friends, this is here. All my friends would leave me alone over that. He turned around and goes, they say there's a fella called Dean, and he comes out at 3 o'clock in the morning or something with an iron and all like that. So everyone used to always take the piss out of me, looking around, thinking, oh, is that you, like, you know what I mean?
And he'd be bang on right. Like I know he's ripping the piss. Well, he's bang on right. The one he did about Malahide people was up.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Because Malahide people don't like to leave Malahide. And then if they go to town, they're always looking at the train because it's so far out to get back to Malahide.
Yeah,
you know that way?
Well, that's what he I think he puts up like questions or gets suggestions for the places, and then everybody submits their little fact about the place. So he incorporates it into his sketches. But yeah, he's released a book recently as well, and it's all, I think it's a travel guide to Ireland or to Dublin. So it's just his kind of take.
That'll be a real proper Dubliner's guide to things. You know what I mean? So
that's how he released that. He had the book launch on Thursday. So
did he?
Yeah. So it's out now, I think, which is I'd be interested to give it a read.
And then he'd probably do the audio book on it as well. Then, yeah.
But that'd be like a meditation in itself.
Imagine trying to go to sleep and you're listening to his audio book.
You have the nightmares like that sketch, like in the woods with Frankie.
But let's not get too far away from yourself. Have you got anything coming up now, and like any your own kind of movies that you're looking at doing? Because you've done quite a few of your own short films, not sketches now.
Yeah,
but they're not always comedy, like.
No, I never.
Some of them are like documentaries. That Up the Flats was brilliant.
I love that. Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was, the characters were just. You just knew them characters. If you've been around Dublin and meet them people.
Yeah, well, that's what
it came across so well.
That's the area that I grew up in, so I like everybody would have been comfortable enough to kind of be on camera for me, like, and they would have more or less invited me to do it, you know. But yeah, so I would have done a load of shorts. There's a load of them anyway, but then a couple of features. And at the moment, I've finished writing a screenplay for the next feature, but it's just getting it off the ground. Like, it's a departure from what I would have done. Like the drama would have been what I would have focused on, even up until meeting the lads and doing the sketches. Like I don't think I would have done stuff for the White Moose Cafe and done like sketches for them. Like, and that's how I started getting more into comedy, just directing comedy. I never had ambitions to actually do proper sketches or comedy. I was just like, I can give it a go, and I think I could bring something to it. But it was always drama for me. I always wanted to kind of make an impact on people through the films or the way I was telling the stories. And obviously you can do that with comedy as well. Like you can make people laugh, and that's a big deal. But the direction that I'm going with this one is more comedy drama and.
It's learning to blur the lines.
Yeah, like this.
Because life is comedy.
Yeah, because I love my favourite type of comedy is like The Office or
the English one or the American one.
Both, because they have the same. There's comedy, but
there is people like that.
It can also
I've never watched
it. Like, you know,
I've never watched the American one.
That's good.
Like in the
American goes on for a while, but it's
Mindy
good.
Kaling. Like there is people. The whole character was ahead of her time. There's thousands upon thousands of her out there now.
Yeah.
The Instagrammers that are like vacuous, you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. But that's what, like, I love that because you can mix the drama with the comedy. Like there's there's parts where you could be laughing your arse off and then crying the next, like, you know, that kind of way.
Did you like Ricky Gervais's
Afterlife?
Afterlife?
Yeah, I loved it. I really did. Like, I think he has a good way of manipulating people into feeling.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it is. It's really good. Like, but for him, he uses music a lot to kind of change your mood. Like, so he'd use the same kind of dramatic music to get you like, oh, we're going to a sad moment here. Be prepared, like, you know, that kind of way.
Well, I found a good, interesting thing with his was when it got sad and you were with the sadness, he'd bring out humour.
Yeah.
And then when you got used to the humour, he'd bring out sadness.
Yeah.
So you never quite knew what you were going to get off him, which I thought was great.
Yeah, that's why I just love that. Like, you can go through such a roller coaster of emotions with something that's silly and also has meaning to it, you know.
One of the scenes that stood out for me in The Office was when he has to lay people off.
Yeah.
And he's playing the character in the room. Oh yeah, I look after you. Basically, he gets a better job, but then they all get ruined.
Yeah.
And like, because you don't take him seriously, you think him as a buffoon. He gets out of the car, and he just has a meltdown and starts losing it.
Yeah.
And you forget that David Brent's a real person.
Mm-hmm.
He's an imbecile, but there is a real human being there.
Yeah, and it's those moments that like you live to. Like, I'd love to be able to do something like that where it's so impactful, like, you know, and it gets to people and makes them really remember that, or even brings them back to a moment where they felt like that.
Yeah,
like, that's the power of filmmaking or any kind of art form, is to bring people.
And you said you were doing comedy and drama, because like for me, I used to do dramatic stuff, but I'd have like a black sense of humour that would then come through the dramatics. And it was only when I was with Four Stories that actually start doing proper comedy.
Yeah.
Because people used to laugh sometimes at some of the stuff I'd be doing, but it'd be a serious film.
Yeah.
And but when you're blending them now, like, because I watch a few of your bits and pieces, and they're very different from each other. Is it kind of a black comedy that then comes through if you have the comedy and the drama together?
Yeah, I think this one is. So there's even supernatural elements in the new script that I wrote. Like, and it's more like there's a lot of kind of undertones of social what's the word? Social realism in there as well. Like, you know, that kind of way where it's kind of like it is it's kind of hiding what the actual message is underneath it, you know, that kind of way. So there is a hidden meaning for what the film is about, like, but it's not completely hidden. Like, it's not like you need to rewatch it 7 or 8 times to get it. It is there's obvious kind of hints to what
it is good for people to go back to, because The Sopranos was like that. Like, I'm an atheist, I don't believe in anything, right? But yeah, I enjoy the spiritual little bits of that and how that played in people's heads. Yeah. And it's when you do the second viewing of The Sopranos, you're watching the cat beside. You know what I mean? And I think it's something that interests people. Yeah. Even if you're a non-believer and things.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
We grew up with ghost stories.
Yeah. Well, that's what it is, interesting to not believe, but also have a little... Maybe. You know? Yeah. I'd be agnostic. I'd be atheist as well, like, but I wouldn't be like shouting from the rooftops.
No,
but it is like, you don't believe, but you'd be like, it'd be great if there was something, wouldn't it? It'd be nice, but like, I couldn't see it happening. But yeah, no, it's... What were we talking about that time? What was the question?
Any new movies that you're doing?
Yeah, no, that one is it's a feature, like, and I'm really excited about it. Anytime I write a feature, I get excited about it, and I just want to do it straight away. Like, but it is, I don't want to have to put my own money into this one. I don't want to do it independent. I'd love to have a good budget behind it.
So the standard would be good. Like, the things you want, the standard that you believe you can do.
Yeah, and
equipment wise and.
Get a big crew involved and just do it the way I feel like I'm well capable of doing it now at this point, you know. But I think for me it's an interesting kind of an original enough concept that I think would be interesting to people if they gave it a chance, you know.
Well, I think one thing now is like there was the traditional route was the cinema, and then you go see a film in the cinema. Now Colin Keoghan, The Quiet Girl, was in the cinema. That got 1 million box office between Britain and Ireland, which was great. So it shows you that films can go to cinema, but I think with Netflix and Amazon now,
they're just taking over.
But people, there's so much to watch that
Get
with so
lost.
people can run through an episode, they've something new to watch. And I think the Netflix and the Amazon and the streaming services and YouTube has really opened it up.
Yeah.
It's broken the traditional barriers. If you wanted to do a comedy years ago, you had to go to the BBC or UTV or Channel 4.
Yeah.
Now people are going to the Facebook, building the following as you did.
Yeah. No, it is it's given a lot more people an opportunity for sure, and it is just getting seen by the right people, so you can move on to the more what's the word, mainstreamy type thing. But it's all blurred now at this point. Like mainstream and online is kind of becoming the same thing. And
As long as you have internet, like you can get far enough. Like.
Yeah, and I think that's what with the like with RTE, they are trying to push the player a lot more now as well, because it is more like people want to be able to consume what they want whenever they want.
Yeah.
So it is a thing where I want to watch the show, I'll just put it on, binge it in a day, and then move on to the next thing.
It's a generational thing. Things have to be available. Like one of the things I do have against the BBC is if you're not living on that island, you can't access it. And I'm like, but Channel 4 have the opposite idea. They'll broadcast it to you.
Yeah,
and they give you an ad, and you go, I can watch this. Where there's so much BBC content I don't get to watch because they won't allow me to watch it online.
Yeah, I still feel like I'm getting away with it when I watch the Channel 4 stuff, because I'm like, I'm pretty sure there's supposed to be a blocker on this. Like I'm just gonna when Joey and Chandler get the porn for free.
Yeah,
that's the way it feels. It's like, when is this gonna end? Like, 'cause there's so much stuff on the Channel 4 one as well. Like you can watch everything that they put up, like, which is amazing.
Oh, they've gone back to back catalogues and all that, and it's amazing now that the streaming sites, they need more and more content all the time.
Yeah.
So they're taking risks. Like I think Cardboard Gangster's done, was it Netflix or Amazon,
Yeah,
that done
Netflix,
quite well on it.
Yeah.
Like and there was crowds of people that you didn't think would be watching it, but over in Manchester and all that, that just stuck with them. And I think that's the measure of a good story, when if the story is, let's say, in Bangladesh, and you can look at it and go, that's kind of reminds me of somewhere I've been, you know, that way.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And that's what it is. And as well, if you, it's like, you can find whatever you want. Like, if you have any interest in anything, you can be like, alright, let's look for a gangster film in Ireland, and then there's more than one, I'm sure. Like.
Oh, there's plenty, there's plenty now.
But that's what pops up, and you get the chance to actually look for it, you know. But it is opening up a lot more possibilities for people to tell stories, and hopefully we'll get more chances over here to get them on Netflix, or to maybe get something that's produced by Netflix. Yeah.
Well, I think the fact the two lads' profile is expanding all the time. You know, that's it. It's always pushing to the next point, isn't it?
Yeah, and I'm stuck to them now, so they can't get rid of me.
You're like an accessory on the phone. Like,
yeah.
You're not going anywhere.
I was like, remember the WhatsApp group? Yeah, no, I think there's definitely a lot more from the lads and myself. If we can get season 3 off the ground, I'm sure. I have a feeling that it'd be more than likely, but we don't know just yet. You have to see what the numbers are like. And then we were developing an idea for a feature film as well, like not Free Gaf, but something else with the lads to kind of show off their range as well, like kind of way. And then obviously for me to be able to show off my directing
your skills,
I suppose, as well. So hopefully that comes to fruition as well. But there's loads of stuff that we're working on at the moment, even separately, you know, just trying to keep it going, because it is fun to do what we're doing.
Yeah. But success draws success, doesn't it? The more you do something good, the more you talk to someone, that sets up something, that something sets up something, and then all of a sudden you've no time at all.
Yeah, but then what if the next one is shite, and then we're like, alright, we're fucked, we have to go.
What are we gonna do now? Like?
Yeah, go back to doing the weddings. Yeah, no, it's. I'm looking forward to seeing what we can do next, but we just have to wait and see if we get the opportunity. Brilliant. But we'll still be doing the sketches now, like regardless of, like, we do that for fun anyway.
Oh, the sketches are big things.
Like when we started doing it, wasn't like to get a sketch show, it was just to have the crack and
just something to have laugh at. Like.
Yeah, and I knew, like, because of Darren's audience, I was like, well, it's definitely gonna get seen. Like, so I get to make something that's gonna be seen by hundreds of thousands of people.
Yeah.
Like. So it was exciting in that. And that's why it's fun. Like, it's just fun getting, like, even just seeing the reactions to, like, the comments and just seeing
all the people
numbers
sharing and liking it.
It's just great. Like,
Isn't
that immediate response is just amazing.
I usually always share it. To be fair, I'm not gonna lie.
Isn't it gas though? The things that you think is funny and things, and you say that bit's not funny, someone else finds hilarious.
Yeah,
and finds it the opposite way around.
when I edited Git and sent it over to the lads, we were like, what's funny about that? Like, we didn't know. We was like, I don't know if it's gonna do any. It's probably not gonna do well. Like, and that's the most successful one that we put up. But we thought, like, we didn't think it was shit, but we just thought it was, are we gonna get laughs out of it?
Yeah.
But then it turned out to be what it was. Like,
I thought the funniest one you had was the whole Bagsy aboard.
Yeah.
Oh, Bagsy aboard. Oh, Jesus.
We might
I was
have
gonna propose, so Bagsy your ring as well.
we might have another a revisit of that soon. We're talking about it, so we'll see. We had an idea last year to do it as well, but we're coming up on the time where it's a perfect moment to do it. Like,
I love watching them because I was sitting there watching all the sketches, but they're that funny. I'm like, how could I not think of something like that? You know what I mean?
but that's what it is. They're simple ideas.
Oh,
it's just
brilliant.
It is one of those where why didn't I think of it? Like,
yeah, exactly.
That's I hate when it happens as well. When I'm watching something like, fuck, I would have done a camera move like that.
It'd been great, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the thing, it's not to overcomplicate things. Like, I do see something and it's a good idea, and then they overcomplicate it.
Yeah, you kill the
and
joke.
then you go,
It's easy to kill the
you've
joke.
tried to be 15 things right now and you're not doing any of them right.
Yeah, and that's why as well, like for the videos that we do, we try to keep it at 2 minutes and 20 seconds, and that's the sweet spot for us anyway.
Yeah.
And it's just, don't go over that. If you can get it shorter, go for it, but like, don't go over 220, because, and it was originally just to put it on Twitter, because they wouldn't let you go over 220.
Yeah.
But we found that it was working, so everything is, don't go over 220 for the sketch, and then it should.
And is that the time lapse you're going to keep it, like?
Try to, yeah. If it goes over that, then we're trying to get rid of.
I find it so hard to try and keep it down to like a 2 minute 20 second.
Yeah, I'd say it's just when if you're writing it, then just keep it the 2 pages max.
I even find that hard because I can be a real messer if I'm writing it, because I can kind of get into a little. I notice I'm getting into a bit of too much detail onto some of the things, and the next thing you know, there's 4 or 5 pages. I'm like,
you have to be willing to kill your babies for sure, like, and just make sure that the best joke wins every time.
Yeah.
And that's why even with the lads, it is whatever the best joke is. That's what wins. And that's what we're gonna do.
You must have some crack reviewing the footage though.
Yeah, no, it is. It does be like I would edit later in the evening, and my daughter's bedroom was right beside, so you have to kind of make sure that you're not laughing too much, like, you know. And even just editing it, just having there's a lot of shouting when the lads do that. Like in the videos, there's a lot of shouting.
yeah.
So you have to make sure that you have your headphones on for that. But no, yeah, it is. It's really, and even finding if they're improvising, there's sometimes because even when we're doing the sketches for the Instagram or whatever, we just have one microphone, like, so it is just a lapel on it, like it's a Rode Mic 2, I think it is. So I have to swap it every time the lads I'm on their shots, like, you know,
serious,
you don't have a boom, or you don't have anybody that's doing sound. So it is literally just, we get your shot, do it all, try to remember the improv for the next thing, and then in the edit you'll figure it out, like, you know. So but we know like if we miss something, like I have to try to remember it myself, like, you know, the kind of where, because I know what way I'm editing it, so I'll remember, oh fuck, you said this thing, so let's put the mic back on, where we should have invested a long time ago in 2 mics. We're just like lazy and just like, we won't do that.
I always find that there's something I found, like, Annie, we're looking at the budget and we talked about this previously, like Always Sunny in Philadelphia, that pilot was sent in on a handheld camera.
I didn't believe
that was they reckon they spent 200 quid on it.
Yeah.
Right? And
And that's the second one they did as well. They did 2 pilots, and that was the one that they sent in was the second one.
And the other programs were coming in with like 100 grand pilots.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think I do see in film, especially like action films, when they've too much of a budget, they make things too big, and you lose the focus and the drama. And I think that's what's good about the lads. Obviously there might be a supporting actor, but you're concentrating on them. There's not too many people in the scene.
Yeah, well, that, and as well, like when I did a comedy years ago, like when I was only starting out, and I was like, I was trying to be fancy with it and just try to make it like with these really cool camera moves and all that stuff. But sometimes it is just set up a camera and let them do it, like. And obviously with the Git stuff, you want to, you're setting up a tone and you're trying to make a horror look, and that's where I can kind of play around with it, you know. But like if it's just a back and forth, it's just do singles and a wide shot, like, and you get away with, like, not even get away with it, that's all you need to tell the story. Like the Bagsy one is just coverage, you know.
Oh, but that is such an Irish thing, isn't it? Bagsy, you were like, lads used to just like see the best chair somewhere. I bagsy that chair.
That's what I'm saying.
And you'd be getting into like a van or something. I bagsy the outside chair.
I bagsy the front seat.
We haven't
You're
forgot Bagsy back.
5'2", like why do I have to sit in the middle?
Bagsy back.
Bagsy back,
yeah. Just taking it back. So we'll have that as a. We want to do something around that as well, because we need redemption for Joe.
But I'll be looking forward to seeing any more sketches you have going on. I love the old sketches myself.
Yeah, no, it's just like
It'd be great.
a few hours out of your day where you just get to fuck around, like, you know, like, and just be silly.
You get, as I say, you get to be a child again.
Yeah, you're just messing around, and that's why even with those with the two lads, it's just like we would talk for 4 hours before even shooting and get a shot in a half an hour, like, and not even talking about the sketch. It's just like you procrastinate. Like the one that we did with the social distancing, where the delivery driver comes in and he throws
the can at the wall.
We were there.
I was in tears.
It's when you're watching it, like, it's just at like 6 o'clock, so it's starting to get dark when we were shooting it. But we got there at 2 o'clock, and we were like, "What are we gonna do?" We started talking, and we didn't get until 6 o'clock. We didn't start shooting. So we were just talking, having coffees, and just walking around. And then we were like, "Well, we may as well just shoot something." Like, so that's how it's going.
Would you be bickering for 4 hours? No,
wouldn't it? It would just be like forgetting that we're there to shoot something, like, and then we were like, all right, we all have to go home to our kids, like, you know, like, let's do something. So that one again, same thing. We just knocked it out in a half an hour, 45 minutes. Like.
But you had to forget me minerals.
Yeah. And again, none of that would have been scripted. It was just let's let Joe do the first shot, and then Darren can match it in the next, like, and just.
But it's all stuff they would have heard in their life, though.
Yeah.
It's genius.
It's like a subconscious thing of memory.
Yeah, the minute it's... yeah.
I try and think of stuff like that, and I'll just get writer's block, like, and it's difficult then.
Well, like, I know a family, right, and everybody in the house, I think it's a Dublin thing, they didn't say crisps, they said quisps.
Quisps?
Quisps.
I never heard quips. Quips. I heard crips.
I say crips.
Quips.
Yeah.
And it'd be like... And you'd hear someone say it, and then his sister say it, and like no one else would say it.
That's weird. Never heard of that one.
I think there's like people like
quips.
Oh yeah, my man's brilliant for it. She called.
You're whispering there, and there's a camera on you.
Oh yeah.
Let me tell you.
She did this thing, right. She gets names wrong. She's dyslexic, right. So she gets names wrong. So she was talking about Barack Obama. And she wouldn't mean any bad. She'd say he's a nice man and all. But she was calling him Alibama.
Oh, jeez.
You know Alibama? Who? The President of America. You don't get it right.
You know.
But look, before we start, we give it a little wrap up. Just as we were talking, like, the whole network thing for some people, right? For the young kind of people now, I'd kind of say personally, you have a bit of experience under your belt.
Mm-hmm.
So for any of the young people that'll be watching now, what would you have to say to them to kind of give them an idea to get going?
It's literally just do your, like, if you want to direct, you're probably better off writing what you want to do, like, so just give writing a go, even if it's not something that you want to do. Write a little short, go out and shoot it, or even just go, if you want to learn how to use a camera, start on your phone. You have your phone in your pocket, you can do that, and just figure out how to compose shots. But the biggest thing for me is just going to YouTube, like, and I'm not saying don't go to college. Like, college is a great experience. You get to meet a lot of people, but I learn a lot of the stuff that I know from YouTube and watching, like, Film Roya or Corridor Digital. Do you ever watch any of that kind of stuff? It just shows you how to make a film, shows you how to do visual effects, and everything that you need to know is on YouTube for free. So if you have any questions, literally, how do you start the camera?
I used to watch. There's this fella in America. His name is Darius Britt.
Oh, yes.
You know him about?
I know him.
He's fantastic. Yeah. Like, there was one where he actually runs you through. It's like an hour or an hour and 20 minutes the episode he done. Excuse me. Of the best way to kind of start learning how to use a camera. Like, it's a whole
tutorial.
It's a whole 30-day tutorial.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? On your first day, go out and just start taking pictures.
Yeah.
Go out the second day, start working on your shutter speed. Third day, go out and start working on lighting. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's all these little things, and as you said, YouTube is better. I think using YouTube is so much more better than all the.
It's more specific, and you'll be able to find out exactly what you want, like in in the click of a button, like, you know, that kind of way.
For me,
And then
sorry.
yeah, go ahead, go on.
For me, the best YouTube video essay channels when it comes to film, Every Frame of Painting
Yeah, I love that.
or Royal Ocean Film Society.
Well, I haven't seen that one. I know that Every Frame of Painting is great.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's just like the perfect. It's just like the perfect video on film as a form,
Yeah.
and how you can use that to reveal the deeper aspects of the story. You know.
Yeah, like a lot of
So much good stuff.
like with colour and stuff, and kind of
Yes.
learning how to. Yeah, I'd watch them religiously, like just whatever I can find on anything about film.
I'd give it a Brain Pilot. I find very good because they're telling you why a story works or why a villain works. I
Yeah.
love all them essays on things.
Yeah, no, it is. It's really, and it gives you like really good ideas as well, just to kind of mull over in your head to write your own stuff, or even when you're using camera movement, just what's the reason for it, and if you're not, like, you don't have to have everything look really fucking slick and stylish. If you don't need to, you just.
Sometimes it
Have the
doesn't
camera
suit the
static.
scene.
Yeah, exactly,
Sometimes
yeah.
they actually want it, like the Dark Knight where they had Heath Ledger, and he basically recorded it with a handheld camera.
Yeah.
And he didn't want it to look professional.
Yeah.
He wanted to look like a guy was messing around with a handheld camera.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, it is. Sometimes you just go back to basics, and that's how you tell the story. But there are ways to tell a story with the camera as well, or with lighting, or with the kind of colours that you use. But I still I learn a lot still from that kind of stuff on YouTube, and again, it's all free. Like, I know there are people that would, like, there's other kind of tiers of the tutorials or whatever, like with the master classes and stuff.
Yes.
But that's something to build up to. Like, if you want to start out, it's literally just
Start
how
off
to
with
make a
small
film.
and work your way up to advanced.
yeah, literally just type in how do I make a film or make a short film on YouTube, and then you'll get
How to use a camera.
thousands of options to pick from, like, and you're straight into it. Another kind of thing that I was conscious of when I was starting was that the area that I grew up in, like, it's not known for people making films. Like, it's not known for people going around with cameras, and so it would have been me. I was kind of projecting onto myself that, like, I would have been very self-conscious about asking people to be a part of it, and I didn't start making stuff until I was in college. But I later found out, like, that a lot of people would have been interested in being a part of the stuff that I was doing. So ask people that ask your brothers or your mates if they want to be a part of it, and I'm sure you'd be surprised how many people actually are interested in.
You would, like, because I did a video with a band called Red Empire.
I know Red Empire.
Yeah, Craig and the lads and all. Sound out. And we did a video, and I was kind of helping them in the background. I think it was The Chosen Few. We're up the mountains with the guns and all that, and the door and the whole lot. And I got me nanny into it, right? She's like the last scene in it and all. And she loved it because she had a bit of a fall in afterwards, and she was in the hospital. And she was telling people she was in the music video.
Yeah.
And these nurses were looking at her. Tell them I'm in the music video. Show them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was great.
Yeah,
Great experience for her. And it was a
really good
lovely
experience.
shot of her.
Yeah, because even like
In her own sitting room and all. It was great.
yeah, like Intermission was shot around in my flats, and so was Inside I'm Dancing and stuff. So even that kind of exposure to it is great, just to see how big of a scale, like, it can be.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting, and just so, like, it's like a moth to a flame. Like, you just want to know what the fuck's going on and try to talk to everybody, and that's what I did. I would have just walked around kind of just poking people and asking questions, and
A brain picker.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, but I was actually an extra in Inside I'm Dancing, and I waited for the whole day. I got off school. I was getting paid £80. I was delighted.
Yeah.
Waited until 6 o'clock.
£80, not €80 as well.
Yeah. I waited until I think it was like 6:30, and they called me on the set, and it was when he gets taken out in the ambulance, and just before they started rolling, they're like, we don't need you, it's grand. I was like, I didn't get to be in the film.
No way.
Waited around all day playing pool in the
Any
the
bags
youth
of chips
centre,
did you
like.
get with the £80?
Oh, I don't know. I think I might have. I don't know where that money went. My mum probably had it. not spending it on going to see Darren and Joe anyway, 'cause she hates them. No, she doesn't. She doesn't hate them. She just
Doesn't think they're
just
funny.
They're funny.
So I think that sketches are from.
Yeah.
But no, well, I think we might give it a little bit of a wrap up now.
Yeah.
So we want to thank you again for coming on. Take the time out of your Saturday.
Yeah, no problem.
So we know you're busy with your free gaff.
Yeah, well,
and
we'll
your
see.
sketches. You know. So no, seriously, we appreciate you coming up, and
We wish you the best of the luck. in your future and
Oh,
everything
hopefully
ahead
not.
because you're a hard worker.
I hope
and
we get a season 3.
I hope you get season 3 and everything. But I'm sure if you'll do something else, they won't stop you.
Yeah, no, I have nothing else to be doing. Like, instead of this, like I couldn't do anything else. But yeah, no, hopefully there's more to come. So
Bit of luck.
Stay tuned.
Follow Gerard Walsh as well on our Facebook
Instagram.
and what's your Instagram on?
Gerard Walsh filmmaker on
Yep.
pretty much everything.
There we go. So if, like,
And if you look up Darren Conway or Joe,
Yeah.
you'll get them like that.
Yeah, and also South, the film that I made is on Amazon Prime. So
there you go.
There.
South on Amazon Prime. So everyone give it a watch as well.
Give it a review if you can, because it helps people if you put a review.
Oh yeah,
My
yeah.
mates only recently got Damien up on Amazon,
Oh, okay.
so they said
I didn't know
put a
the
review.
yeah. I must get people to review it. I never
Yeah,
actually-
it helps.
yeah.
But now if we're lucky, we might get to work together someday again.
Yeah.
Us, and I might even see if I could try and drag Darren. I know I text Darren years ago. I text Darren. We talk about something about it was either Monster or Lucas saying the text I got back off him. That's very dangerous. Thanks. So if he's watching, yeah, I remember that you ghosted me. So thanks. But, oh no, hopefully we'll all get to work together someday. We might get to have you back on again sometime. You know.
Yeah, 100%.
Talk about your next project.
Yeah.
when it's done.
Yeah.
Talk about the Oscar, will we? Yeah.
Yeah, the Emmy and all that.
The
yeah, I
red
want to
carpet
eat
event. So again, thanks again for coming, Jer, and best of luck with everything going on.
Thank you very much.
And
Brilliant.
you don't forget to tell people to like.
Don't forget to like,
subscribe,
follow and
do their
subscribe to
notifications.
4 Stories Dublin, and don't forget to like, follow and subscribe to Gerard Walsh also. Gerard Walsh filmmaker. Very high class. If anyone wants stuff done, don't be afraid to give him a shout. I'm pretty sure you'll do that for a good price.
Yeah,
There we go. Alright, thanks again guys.
See it.
Thank you.